Paul Hellyer, him releasing some information about his belief that extraterrestrials exist and they have a presence here on Earth? He's the former Defense Minister of Canada.
No.
Yeah.
Peter MacKay?
No, Paul Hellyer.
Oh, Paul Hellyer.
Let me just read you a quick blurb about this. I didn't realize, but he actually wrote a book too called "Light at the End of the Tunnel," and then there's a little blurb underneath on the cover of his book that says "A Survival Plan for the Human Species." So anyway, quote: "Some UFOs are as real as the airplanes that fly over your head." Unquote. Among his numerous statements regarding UFOs, this is the most typical statement of Canada's former Minister of National Defence, Paul Hellyer. A political figure of the international stature, 86-year-old Hellyer was recently interviewed by the Italian-American UFO writer and photojournalist Paola Harris in Toronto, Canada, on May 7, 2010. The occasion for the interview was to discuss the release of Paul Hellyer's new book, Light at the End of the Tunnel, A Survival Plan for the Human Species. During the interview, Hellyer made some strong comments regarding recent statements by Professor Stephen Hawking, who suggested that an eventual encounter with aliens could drive humanity towards total annihilation, which we spoke of before. Hawking theorized that because aliens could have malevolent intentions, they may aim to conquer and destroy other planets. Paul Hellyer is not only convinced that extraterrestrial beings have peacefully visited Earth since remote times, but also that humankind has achieved great technological advances through reverse engineering activities and knowledge derived from recovered alien technology, beginning with the 1947 Roswell UFO crash. So there's a little tidbit of Canadian history for you, Adam.
Wow, I had no clue. That's incredible.
Yeah, this is an old story for me. I knew about this. I want to find a way, but now that he's launching a new book, I might be able to get him on this program.
Spell his last name.
Hellyer.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to look into that too.
Yeah, pretty neat, man. Also, I have some more news for you, just quickly.
Okay.
And P.S. Thank you, Rojas, for this great magazine. It's a veritable fountain of knowledge. Let's see. Okay, here we go. International UFO Congress. The International UFO Congress of 2011. Just a heads up for all you out there in Radioland who might be interested in something like this. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's the International UFO. Let me see here. It's the leading organization for the research and documentation of UFOs and related information, and this is going to be taking place at the Fort McDowell Resort and Casino on the Yavapai Reservation around Phoenix, Arizona. And when is it going to be taking place? Let me see here. I don't have a final date on this ad here for some reason, which is strange. But look into it. You can check it out at openminds.tv, and you can get further information from that. Or you can go to www.radisson.com/UFO, or by calling 1-800-395-7046 to talk to the hotel there, get some reservations, and find out what's going on there. It's in a beautiful location, and I'm not trying to promote any business, but the hotel here is offering a 50% discount on all the rooms, $20 in hotel dollars, and some money for free slot play and stuff. So it's a good deal for a good cause, and it's going to be pretty sweet. Bringing about some new information in 2011.
That's great.
Pretty cool.
I need to plug a newsletter here, too.
Please do.
If I can. There's a great newsletter that comes out weekly called UFO Digest.
Yeah.
And it's a Canadian newsletter based out of Winnipeg, I believe.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And are you familiar with this one?
The publication, yes.
Yeah, there's some great stuff on there. Everything from MK Ultra to there has been another report lately on sighting in Connecticut. Do you remember before last program we were talking about a sighting in North Carolina?
Yeah, about the single craft that disengaged into several smaller ones.
Right.
Yeah, that, and then there was
the same thing in Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So four bright objects crossing the night sky. No explanation, man.
Wow.
Just helicopters the next day.
That's intense.
Yeah, so it's pretty intense when we start examining these things objectively and piecing things together for ourselves. You know, as citizens, we're not scientists or anything. We're not qualified to make any concrete answers, you know, but we can definitely see these very commensurate stories fall into place. We see the truth.
For sure. It's a big world out there. Lots of stuff is starting to happen. Although it's probably been happening forever. It's just that we finally got the eyes to see it now. So that's nice and encouraging. There's another article in here in the magazine, and I mentioned it on the last program, about a Russian politician who reveals that he was abducted by aliens. Did you hear about this?
No.
He's a Russian politician. Wait a second now. Yeah, the Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev.
Right.
Oh, no. Here we go. Yeah. Ilyumzhinov. Kirsan Ilyumzhinov. He's the head of the Buddhist Kalmykia region of southern Russia. And he said he was abducted by aliens, and there was talk all the way up the ranks to the president of Russia about this. And so Ilyumzhinov holds power in Russian office, and he's adamant that he was picked up by a saucer. And Russia as well, like we just said, another government open to the idea of something taking place here, scratching their head too.
With some transparency and some higher-up people coming up and,
yes,
you know, coming forward with their...
United front. There's a united front, man. We just want the truth. That's all we want.
You bet.
You know, and maybe there's some information here that's a little bit too detrimental or scary that would shake us to the core. And, you know, if there are groups that think that information should be held back for peace of mind, maybe that's important. But please, you know, you're making yourselves look ridiculous by denying what's going on here. We're absolutely ridiculous. But I understand why you wouldn't come out and say something, because then you'd have to backtrack 60 or 70 years and explain all of that nonsense to us. And then, of course...
The rest of the world should take an example from Brazil and what Brazil's been doing here the last week.
Thanks for breaking my rant, because I was getting a little hot.
That's okay.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, you were in the red. I calmed you down.
That's awesome. Well, we got anything else on the horn here?
I got nothing.
Okay, cool.
Not right now. I'm tapped.
Well, it's been fun, man.
It's been great. This is a great little program, and I've told all my friends about it. I've often updated my status when the broadcast goes, so everybody gets a chance to take a look or take a listen, as it were.
That's great. Thank you.
It's a great program. I love it.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Yeah, we just
have stuff going, and hopefully I can brush up some fiction and bring it to light, maybe.
Yeah, I need to put some of your stuff online, published on the blog spot, because I promised I'd do that for some readers if they wanted to check it out. So if you got some nice short pieces, even postcard stories or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've got definitely a lot of 100-word stories.
See what you can do, Mr. Adam, up there in the north.
You betcha.
All right, thanks for being with us, man. Let's do it again.
Big love.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao.
So that's the end of another exciting edition of the Exopolitical Pulse with our amazing correspondent from up north there. Adam, thanks very much for being here with us from British Columbia. And it was a good one. Adam and I spent a lot of years together pondering a lot of amazing ideas and thoughts, constructs, and under a big moon sky full of beautiful stars many of those nights. And I'm just glad that we could get together again and share our experiences here with all of you, to have a forum for all of us on the unified field. Wow, did I ever have a hard time saying that? The unified field. That's better. UFR, as I like to call it, Unified Field Radio, Atlantic Canada's only paranormal radio broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in, but we're going to take a quick commercial break right here on CKDU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to the Unified Field with your host, Mr. Justin Brown.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. We are the Poets of Creative Spirit East, and we're coming to you from the studios of CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax.
I'm David Suzuki. You're either on the bus or off the bus. If you're on the bus, 40 vehicles are off the road. One busload of commuters keeps 70,000 liters of gasoline from being burned. That keeps 9 tons of pollution out of the air. And it puts $5,000 into the pocket of every person on the bus. Get on the bus and breathe easier. The future is in your hands.
Don't drive the planet to destruction. Get around smarter at davidsuzuki.org.
The presidential election in Ghana has been narrowly won by the opposition candidate John Atta Mills. Ghana's electoral commission.
Sick of corporate news? Would rather hear from people in your community and communities across Canada? Tune out the static and tune into Groundwire. 30 minutes of grassroots news produced by independent, on-the-ground journalists and campus community radio stations from coast to coast to coast. Released the first Monday of every month. To listen, contribute, or learn more, visit groundwire.ncra.ca. This is a project of the National Campus and Community Radio Association. Made by you, for you.
The state of the world economy is likely to be a dominant issue in 2009.
Sick of the mainstream? Listen to the alternative. Groundwire.
6 Cinema Radio, CKDU 88.1 FM.
You are now entering the unified field.
Welcome back to the Unified Field. It's been a fantastic episode, hasn't it? But we're running really short on time, so we're going to have to wrap things up tonight. The Audio Zone, unfortunately, will not be with us tonight, just because of time constraint reasons. You all understand. It's been over 2 hours, and I've already went far past my block here at CKDO, so I'm going to have to close it off for the night. However, there is one final note I want to make. I am going to read an email sent in from a listener. Actually, I'm not going to read the email. I'm sorry. I'm having internet connection, so I'm going to recount the email from memory. That's better. Michael, which is his pseudonym. Forgive me if I have this wrong in a way, but I think I have the gist of it. He actually sent me 2 stories, one of which I'm going to share with you the next time I record a broadcast. Now, in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to re-air an old broadcast because I'm going to be out of province for a couple of weeks. And when I get back, I'll be back on schedule, and I'll get that Kathleen Martin episode up. So stay tuned for that. But first of all, this is an email that Michael sent to me. Basically, the email said that this gentleman has had a number of paranormal experiences, which is cool, because I'm always calling for submissions for experiencers of any kinds. But he has a number of paranormal experiences, ranging from psychic to entities to the otherworldly. This one in particular was about a dream that he had, in which he dreamt that a gentleman was being held against his will in a Middle Eastern prison. But more specifically than that, he got the gentleman's full name. The full name of the gentleman in the dream. So he woke up from that dream thinking, wow, that was really realistic, and did some research. The name that gentleman gave Michael in the dream, he researched. And so, sure enough, an exact identical match came up for the person's name, who was actually an activist in the area trying to let the world know of the injustices that were taking place in this country. This is in the Middle East. Not only that, but the picture that he had seen of the gentleman with the exact same name was the exact same clothing, the exact same shirt that he had seen the gentleman in the dream.